Hey everybody, how are we doing? So, I this evening am in very sunny, it's giving me a headache, sunny, Luton. I haven't been in Luton for ages. I don't do a huge amount of business in Luton, mainly because the competition here is huge at the moment, and there's a lot of operators, service accommodation, rent to rent, HMO, that have come into the Luton market and put like hundreds of units into the market all at the same time. And what that's meant is that the prices, the room rents, the nightly rates and everything have come down. So I don't do much over here, but I'm here tonight because I'm picking up my in-laws from the airport and their flight is delayed. So I'm stranded. And whilst I'm sure I could be doing something productive, I thought actually I've done enough work for the day. But I'm sat here just kind of chilling in the car. So I thought I would open up to you guys. I haven't done a live Q&A in this group for ages, like a really long time. And they're always quite productive and I always get really good questions. So I can see there's a few of you on here. Hi Lokai, hi Kaylin, Kalyan even, hey Romana, how are you? How is everybody? So I really just thought I would open this up to ask me anything you want, anything that is you want to ask me about business, about running a company, about struggles, about positive stuff, negative stuff, about sourcing, finding deals, negotiating deals, anything you want to ask me, then I'm here. What you have to do, obviously, for me to know that you've asked me, just put it in the comments, and I can answer those questions. So hey Dan, how are you? Olu, how you doing? Nice to see you online. Ignore this big sun. The sun is actually giving me a headache today. It's like super bright. So guys, for those of you that just popped on, I'm stranded at Luton Airport waiting for my in-laws. So I thought I would just do a Facebook Live Q&A. Ask me anything. This only works if you guys actually ask me questions though. So stick your questions off. Danny, I'm great, thank you very much. I've had an amazing day. We've done our month-end review today, so I'm super excited about that. We have, and I don't even mind sharing this, it's such a massive thing for me. So in this month, in May, we delivered 2.3 times greater net profit than we did in our full year of trading in 2015, 2016. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. We've had our second best month of the year this month. So I'm in a really great mood. I'm not off anywhere, Dan. I am waiting for my in-laws to get off of a flight from Italy. So I'm just hanging out in the car park. Their flight was delayed and so here I am. I've been to Starbucks, but I outstayed my welcome. So I've had to move my car because I was going to get a ticket. So here I am. I'm actually in a gym car park right now, which is the closest I've been to a gym all week because I haven't been to my own gym. Olu, when is my next training? So we are doing a Property Made Simple. So Sourcing Made Simple on the 22nd of June. That's free to attend. You guys are welcome to join me for that. I'll stick the link in later. Our next boot camp though, the 3-day actual solid training where we do all the implementation and we work on the business, is the 18th, 19th and 20th of July, Olu. So if you want more info on that, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure one of us get in touch with you yesterday. Dan's asked me, are you still doing rent to rent? Have you built any houses yet? So yeah, 100% I'm still doing rent to rent. I don't know, I feel like I'll do rent to rent probably for the next 3 years at least, because rent to rent, which next 3 years, which will then give me like 6 years worth of revenue, if that makes sense of it. And yeah, I mean, rent to rent for me, you know, it's a great little business. And whilst I don't actually get involved much in the day-to-day running of the rent to rent business anymore, you know, we're recruiting a new tenant manager now who's going to come in and do like the tenant management. Our maintenance team handle all the stuff that happens in the houses themselves. I very rarely go to the houses now. I can't see any reason to not continue doing it, Dan. You know, I am a business owner and Justin and I, between us, we run the company. But actually the business kind of takes care of itself a lot of the time nowadays, which is amazing. So I can't see any reason why we won't do it. I haven't built any houses yet. There are houses, we're going through planning for At the moment, we're actually at the point where we're having tree surveys done. We've got TPOs on site, and we're building 2 flats on that site, so that's really exciting. And we're just about to go into legals to do a flip in Northampton with one of my joint ventures. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, we've got all sorts, but no, I haven't actually finished building a house yet, Dan. Not yet. It's coming. Bear with me. So guys, those of you that just come on, I'm stranded at Luton Airport and thought I would just do an Ask Me Anything Q&A just to kind of open it up, because I've got some time to kill and I haven't done one of these for ages, so I thought I would just jump on. So hey Tony, how are you doing? Hey Sally, hey Olu. I will make sure that we get some content. If you could send me a private message on here, I'll get one with your phone number. I'll get one of my team to give you a call tomorrow and we can get you set up. Dan, how is the homeless thing going? Yeah, it's good. So we hit a bit of a block because the charity client that we work with, we've started to house people for, they've actually kind of put the project on pause because they're building a big purpose-built like centre to house a load more people in Milton Keynes. So they weren't in a position to really shift their processes again. So it's kind of on pause with that charity. But we're also looking at doing some like buy, refurb, refinance type projects in Northampton to serve one of our charity clients there, like a women's refuge. So less homeless, but definitely still in the charity space. So we're playing around with that at the moment. We've got some offers out and bits and pieces happening. I'm still on a mission to contribute 250 homes. Blimey, that aeroplane's loud. Crikey. It's really loud. 250 homes in the next 10 years. So, you know, we're raising money for that at the moment. We are sourcing houses and projects for that. We're sourcing land for that at the minute. So yeah, Dan, there's loads of stuff going on. Really enjoying that sort of things. So guys, have you got any questions? You can literally chuck any question at me at all. I'm happy to answer anything, from what's it like to run a business, what my biggest mistake was, what would I do differently, like anything you want to ask me. I'm happy to answer absolutely anything. Dan, we definitely do need a catch up. Basically, I think I'm going to come to Liverpool because I've got some stuff I need to do up there from an investment perspective. I need to come and hang out with Vicky Piers. I need to come and hang out with you. I think we need to just get a day in the diary where we just go and hit Liverpool town. You guys will have to look after me though, because I'm an outsider. Every time I've been to Liverpool when I was younger, not now, but every time I've been to Liverpool when I was like in my early 20s, I ended up in trouble. So if I come, you have to look after me. But yeah, I'm totally up for coming to Liverpool. That'll be fun. So guys, what questions have we got? Hit me with some questions. I've got like half an hour. I'm happy to answer absolutely any questions at all. But if you don't ask me anything, I won't know what to answer. So hit me with your questions. Brian, when's the next deal sourcing course? So it's on the 18th, 19th and 20th of July in Milton Keynes. I'm really excited about this one actually, because it's the last one of our financial year, and then we are going to be doing 2 things. 1, the prices are all going up, and 2 is shifting around the content and things. So I'm mega excited about this one because it's been such an amazing year, and it's the last one in a series that we planned last year. So Brian, if you can get to it, it's going to be an amazing one. 18th, 19th and 20th of July. So if you want more info on that, just drop me a PM and I'll make sure that with your phone number in it, and I'll make sure one of the guys give you a call tomorrow. Definitely a summertime day out. Yes, Dan, let's do it. Summertime day out. I'm not coming if you can't promise to make sure that I live. If I don't survive Liverpool, I'm not coming. Who we got online? Angela, how you doing? Olu, how you doing? So guys, I've got basically some time to kill, and I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. Brian, if you've got any questions other than like when the training is, please feel free to ask me. I'd love to answer it for you. Anything you've got kind of bubbling in your head. But yeah, if you guys don't ask me anything, then I have nothing to say. So I think you guys should chuck some questions at me. Anything at all. There's a very strange looking person loitering with intent by the tree over there. I've not been to Luton for a long time. I'm not sure whether I should be worried. So how are we all? What have we all been up to? What's happening? What's happening in the world of property? Hit me with your questions. Let's do it. What we got here? So one of the questions I got asked yesterday, actually, which I might as well handle while we're here, is where would I start if I was starting again from scratch? Where would I start with my marketing? Well, the actual question was, where would I start to make money as quickly as possible? If I had my time again, where would I start? And I think for me, the lead generation tactics that I used right at the beginning are still the lead generation tactics that I use now. And so I think I would probably do the same thing if I had my time again. I would just repeat what I'm doing now. And those things are, I would just hit Gumtree and Rightmove and I would ring everybody that I possibly could. I think the thing that a lot of people overthink the whole sourcing process. And I was talking to Vicky Pears about this morning. They overcomplicate things and they overthink it. And actually, the thing about sourcing, especially if you're packaging, is that really all we need to do is to have good conversations, ask good questions. And when you do that, what happens is you get to know your customer, get to know your client. And when you know your customer and your client, what happens is you can find a solution that works for them, but you can't, we say this a lot, you can't sell anything to anybody unless you know what it is they need. So sourcing and packaging, when you're sourcing houses, you are selling something. You are in sales because you need them to accept your offer. You need them to buy that solution from you. It really all starts with, the lead generation starts with you asking good questions and you knowing who your audience are, spending the time, taking the time and putting in the energy and the effort to understand what it is they need. And when you understand what it is they need, you can help them. When you help them, when your solution helps them through a problem, why wouldn't they buy it from you? So that's what I mean, if I was starting again, that is what I would do. I would start with hitting Gumtree, hitting Rightmove, asking good questions and structuring solutions that work for people, which is ultimately what I did in the beginning. So Brian has asked me, these aeroplanes, they're super loud. Let me shut my window. There we go. Brian has asked me, how did you manage the transition from the 9-to-5 rat race to financial freedom? Brian, so for me, this was a bit of a phased approach, if that makes sense. See you later, Dan. It was lovely to chat to you. This was a bit of a phased approach because I was in recruitment. So I was in recruitment so I lived up north and I came down south, and from when I moved down south I went into recruitment, and I was in recruitment for sort of 5-6 years, something like that. I actually left the 9-to-5 rat race officially in 2012, and I left because I'd started a photo booth company, called it Point and Shoot. I quite like the name, quite proud of that. Came out with that all by myself, believe it or not. So I started a photo booth company in 2012, and that we hired photo booths out to weddings and events and corporates and things like that. And what happened was I ran that company for a little while and it was doing well. It started off doing really, really well. It was on trend. People were spending money on it, dealing with weddings, people throw money at weddings, and it was actually quite a good little business. What I had let me get to that in a second. So it was a good business, and because it was a good business, I was making okay money. I quit my job in recruitment and I went from the 9-to-5 recruitment, and it weren't 9-to-5 at all. It was like 7:30 till 8. I went from that to running my own company. I remember the first month I ever didn't have a salary. I remember thinking, fuck, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, where am I going to get, what if I don't make any money? I felt sick. It was horrible. But I did make that transition into that business before my property company started. So I started that company in 2012. I transitioned to being self-employed kind of 2013-ish, like mid 2013. And then I ran that company, and I'm not gonna lie, I ran it really fucking badly because I had absolutely no idea how to run a company. No clue whatsoever. I didn't know that you needed to do your bookkeeping more than once a year. I didn't know that when you turn up at your accountants with a shoebox full of receipts and go, here's my accounts, they're going to charge you a lot of money to fix that. I didn't know that you needed to put 20% away for corporation tax. I didn't know that when you made money in your business, you needed to keep some of it as a marketing budget. These are planes, man. You needed to keep some for a marketing budget, I also didn't really recognise or understand that when someone paid me money, if I paid my mortgage with that, it meant that their money was not in the business anymore. And so ultimately, I very, very nearly went broke. So in 2000 and... hold on, let me get my dates right. So 2015, in the summer, I was planning my wedding. I was getting married in the September, and in 2015, I had to kind of go back to the rat race. So I left 2013. I ran my business for a little while. It was failing massively. So I had to go back and get a job. Now, I don't know if any of you can relate to this at all, but Brian, just to kind of clarify, leaving a job is amazing. Having to go back to a job when you've left a job to be self-employed is one of the hardest things I ever had to mentally go through, because I felt like I had to admit defeat and I felt like I'd failed. I'm not very good when I fail at things. So mindset wise and mentally, I weren't in a great place. I wasn't in a great place. That was terrible grammar. So I went back and got a job. So that was kind of the summer 2015. Hey Malcolm, how you doing? I then had a job, and I was working in Birmingham at the time, and I was still running the photo booth company, and I was also working in Birmingham as a consultant, so doing sales and marketing consultancy and stuff like that. Now, because I had my company and I was doing a job, I obviously didn't have very much time. We got married in the September, and when we were away, we kept talking about what we were going to do next, and whether we were going to have children, whether we were going to get a dog, whether we were going to go traveling, like buy a new house, like what we were going to do. Everything came back to having no money. So I then decided at that point, with the support of my ever understanding husband, that I was going to start another company. So now in sort of the October 2015, I've got one failing company, I've got a job, and I'm also starting a new company in property. And he was like, how are you going to do that? You've got no money. Rent to rent is how I was going to do that. So I then transitioned again from having a job and two companies for the first year. And then I sold my failing company in the January 2017, not for very much money, but I managed to rescue it out of the doldrums. So I sold that company in January 2017, and then I went full-time into property. I gave everything else back, and I didn't do anything else other than property from kind of the October of 2016. So Brian, that was a really long-winded way of answering your question. The transition of rat race to financial freedom for me was a very long one, because I went forward and then I went back again, and then I come forward again. I didn't really achieve financial freedom. I guess, do I have financial freedom? I still have to work, I still have to go and run my companies. I don't have passive income, so to speak. So would you call me financially free? I don't know. I'm financially independent. If all my rents come in, I have more than enough money to pay all my bills every month. I can now invest in stuff, which means I've got surplus cash, which means I must be, I guess, financially independent, stable. Free is probably a bit strong for me. I'm still only like 3 and a bit years in. I still got work to do to be able to sit on a beach all day, every day. But I'd probably get bored. So the rat race transition for me, Brian, it went forward, then it went backwards, then it went forward again, and then it went crazy. And so yeah, it was a difficult one, but yeah, it was fun. It's fun, and it's working now, so that's all good. So I hope that answered your question. Right, everybody that's kind of just joined and hear me babbling on, I just thought I would do a quick I'm stranded at the airport, ask me anything. So I'm happy to answer any questions at all about anything at all. I dare you to ask me something. I dare you, anything you like. I'm keen to answer anything. Hey Amir, hey AJ, how you doing? Malcolm, hey boss. Hey, I'm excited about seeing you on Thursday. We are going to be talking numbers, Malcolm, on Thursday, me and you. I'm excited about that. Suki, how you doing? How are we all doing? So, Brian, it's my pleasure to share it with you. I think, trying to be really honest about this stuff is running a business is amazing. Being self-employed is amazing. Being my own boss is amazing. But it goes up and down. And, I guess my transition from being in the 9 to 5, so to speak, to being somebody that can just book a day off when she wants, or can take the morning off when she wants, or can go and buy the things that she wants, or can take, take her family away, the things that I get to do now. It's been a rocky road, and it's been since 2012 to 2000, what are we now, 19, it's taken a bit of time for me to get it all in the right order and make, I guess, one, find something that I really enjoy doing, and two, find something that I think I'm good at. Because when you're good at something and things kind of come quite naturally to you, and I find that this actually does come reasonably naturally to me. I think I'm a natural I've been in sales my whole life. I love it. I think it's an art form, and actually if you can ask good questions and discover what your customer needs, then you can sell them, or give them a solution that works for them. And there's always needs to be financial exchange. There always has to be a transaction, and that's the sale. But it's really more about that transition of making sure you can solve a problem for somebody. And when that happens, I love it. And so for me, I've found something that I get excited about doing every day. I also have the pleasure now of running events where I get to help other people. Our Property Made Simple event, this is one of my favourite days. Our Mastermind days are one of my favourite days of the month, because I get to see people coming through the same journey that I've been on in the last 3 years, making the same mistakes so that I can kind of help them, hitting the same walls, crying the same tears. Like, I understand it, I get it. And actually now I've found something that, I guess for me, Brian, I just enjoy it. And so for me, it's not really like working. I do work, I do spend time working every day, but I definitely have a very different life to what I had when I was in recruitment. So your goal is to leave and do property full time, doing rent to rent, and considering deal. I'm assuming that means deal packaging. Brian, just do it. Yeah, if I can help at all with getting you up and running with rent to rent, deal packaging, sourcing, let me know. Malcolm, what's the hardest thing you've learned about becoming a mentor or teacher? Wow, big question. I guess one of the hardest things for me that I go through as a mentor, as a trainer, is when you can see people not listening to what it is you told them to do, and people fighting you. And one of the things that I think, Justin says this a lot, is the thing that was different about me when he decided to work with me was that I genuinely just did what I was told. And I've just started working with a new mentor this week. I've started working with a new speaker coach to help me to improve my public speaking. I've got a goal to speak on a stage with Rachel Hollis and in front of 10,000 people. And I need to be a better public speaker than I am right now to be able to achieve that. And my mentor said to me some stuff on Saturday when I sat down and did my one-to-one with him. He's like, you need to do this, 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 and this. I didn't argue with him. I didn't fight him on it. I don't necessarily agree with everything, but he runs the business that I want. He has the results I want. And so because I want those results, and that's what he's doing to achieve them, I've just done as I'm told. So this, Monday and Tuesday this week, I've just done the things that he told me to do. They've all been put into action, every single one of them. And already I've started to see the results. So I've already been invited to speak on a place that I wouldn't have been otherwise. The hardest thing about being a mentor or a trainer is when you can see people not listening to you, and you can see them making the mistakes that you made, even though you've given them the answer, and yet they fight you on it. I think the other thing that I struggle with the most, a couple of other things I struggle with is, as a mentor, it's you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Is that the right saying? We know that when you do the numbers, when you follow the process, when you say the right thing at the right time to the right person, put the right bit of paper in the right place at the right time, that it works. Sometimes as a mentor, we don't always get it bang on, in terms of making sure that people have understood it fully. So I've never been a teacher. I've never been, in that kind of educational space. I was a speaker trainer when I was in recruitment, but a sales trainer in recruitment, but I could teach sales all day long. It's, I love it. For me, learning how to be a mentor and give the best value I can and make sure that we are helping people along by empowering them to grow and not just doing it for them is something that I'm learning to shift, because my job is actually to empower you to get better at what you're doing. My job is not actually to do it for you. So for me, that's been a hard thing. It's a really good question, actually, Malcolm. Thank you very much for asking that. And yes, we are going to talk about numbers. No problem at all. So who's got questions for me? I am stranded at the airport for probably another 15 minutes or so, waiting for my in-laws to come out of to come home from Italy. So I'm sitting hanging out in a car park and thought I would do a Q&A. So I'm happy to answer any questions at all. Feel free to ask me anything you want. I'm super flexible on it. I feel like I've only got like a 3/4 of a head. Who have we got on here? Sabrina, how you doing? Sylvia Snowling, hello. It's been a long time since I've seen you around, Sylvia. Hope you are doing well. Michael, can I arrange or schedule a one-to-one with you? Yes, you can. If you drop me a PM with your phone number on it, I can we can get that organised. No problem at all. You can either book like a one-to-one full day, or you can we can book a call. Emma, the Pradas are at home. I'm on a Ray-Ban kind of day today. It goes with my hood better than my Pradas do. I'm a Ray-Ban girl today. Brian, what do you do? What do I do in the business? In which bit do you mean? Explain that question to me a bit more and I will definitely answer it. Meant to say, what do you do to stay motivated and be in the right mindset? Okay, so for absolute clarity, right? Myself and everybody else actually that sits and, you know, everybody that's successful, everybody that's got the things that you aspire to have or is achieving the results you want, we're not always in the right mindset 100% of the time. Okay, we all have moments where we hit a brick wall, where we hit a barrier, where we have a little mind wobble, you know, where we think, oh shit, is this the right choice? We all have that. That's really normal. And if you feel like that at any point, it's totally normal and it's acceptable for you to think, shit, I'm not sure if this is quite right. Am I making the right choice? Is it the right move? I feel a bit overwhelmed. Really normal. What do I personally do to stay in the right place? I surround myself with the people that I know. When I hit that problem, I can get an answer reasonably quickly. I have the best friends in the world and they get me fully, and they know like the absolute inside out of me. I haven't got many really good friends, but they are amazing. So if I hit like if I have a day where actually shit's all falling to pieces, and let me be really clear, I lost a deal yesterday. There was a deal that really meant a lot to me, and there's a sentimental aspect of that, and I lost a really big deal yet last week. These planes are really loud. We lost £1 million profit deal last week because of various contractual issues, which was heartbreaking. You know, I had a bad day that day. You know, I didn't enjoy that day. It hit me. I was like, shit, we dropped the ball here. Well, we didn't really drop the ball, but we didn't do things quickly enough for us to secure it as we should have done, really. And so, yeah, in terms of staying in the right mindset, surround yourself with good people. I've got great friends, I've got great business partners, and I've got great mentors. I know that if I'm having a wobble day, I know about myself that if I get myself off the sofa, go for a walk with the dog, go for a run, go to the gym, just get myself out of my environment, that really helps me to kind of reset my physiology. It resets my emotions, it resets my brain a little bit. I try to do exercise every day. I don't do it every day, I have to be really honest here, but I do try to fit in some exercise every single day. And do you know what? On the days when I don't feel motivated, I accept that actually I just don't feel it today. And I accept that that's okay because we're human beings. And I accept that maybe I'll just take a day off or an hour off or an evening off. Or I'll just shut my laptop and have a cup of tea. Or I will shut my laptop and watch Netflix for an hour. Because it's real life. And for me, actually, if you keep going and going and going, even when you really are battling it, you end up hitting overwhelm, you end up hitting burnout, and that's no good for anybody. You're better off accepting, do you know what, I'm not having a brilliant day today, so instead I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the afternoon off, or I'm going to go and spend it with my friend, or whatever it might be. That's going to really work. It will give you the space, it will give you the headspace to take a break, and then you can go again tomorrow. And that is ultimately what I do. So I've probably got time for one more question, because I think the flight is landing, or has landed, so I've got to go and pick up the in-laws. So Malcolm, I'm going to start with your question. If I was, or I'm going to finish with your question even. If you were to start all over again, what one thing would you do differently? I would learn to admit that I'm wrong quicker. And what I mean by that is, we allow our egos to allow bad decisions to drag on for too long sometimes. And I've personally done that. I've personally made choices in the business that I thought were the right ones at the time. And quite soon after, I've started to think, I'm not sure this is the right person to have recruited. I'm not sure that was the right decision in terms of where to spend that money. I'm not sure. But instead of taking all the emotion out of it and saying, do you know what, that was a mistake, and firing that person super quickly, I've let my ego get in the way, because I don't want to admit that I've been wrong. And I've allowed that problem to continue for longer than it should have done. And that's been with recruiting staff. It's been with working with suppliers. It's been with deals even. Sometimes, in fact, I 100% think if there's a mistake that I've made in my business, and probably will continue to do so, because we've all got an ego, right? Me too, everybody's got this. I think the one thing I would love to be able to take absolute control over is to be able to completely rationalize all my decisions, take all the emotion out of it. I'm not going to be able to do that because because we're human. But I wish, in terms of what I would do differently, I really wish I was able to admit I was wrong faster on some of the things that have happened in the business in the last 3 years. Because had I done that, I would have saved relationships, I would have saved money, I would have saved time, I'd have saved my own heartbreak a little bit in some capacity, and I'd have moved the business forward in a slightly different direction, but I would have probably made more money as well. So yeah, I wish I could have historically admitted that I was wrong sooner and failed faster, is probably my answer, Malcolm. I hope that's been helpful. Right, I'm going to go because the in-laws have arrived. So I'm going to go. It's been really lovely chatting to you guys. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I will speak to you guys probably tomorrow at some point. See you later. Big love.